So, the wife's out for the evening, the urchin is asleep upstairs. So happy Homebrew Wednesday, everyone. I haven't done one of these for quite a while now, but as I said before, opportunities knocked this evening, so I thought I'd do a little bit of video and just have a chat about what's been going on. A few different things to talk about. First of all, let's start with this beer that I've just poured off the tap. Didn't intend for it to come out as a Merc bomb, but it is pretty hazy. I tried double dry hopping with this for the first time, so it is a Citra and Amarillo IPA. I don't know if you saw on the brew fridge, but it's quite a pokey one, so 6.9%. I made this with the Citra and Amarillo that I got from Timmy Jenkins, so thanks again, Timmy, for those hops. They are indeed some of the stinkiest and freshest hops that I've used, and yeah, getting a nice aroma certainly off of this beer from them. Yeah, I used one of the where is it? I don't know where it is, but I used one of the keg hopping things, the sort of mesh grill tubes that you can put hops in to dry hop in the keg. So I used one of those for the first time with this beer. Put half the dry hop in the FV and then the second half in the keg, which I think the keg hopping part is probably what has contributed to that being so hazy, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I'm not like that bothered whether they come out hazy or not, but as you can see in this case, that process has definitely ended up with it a little bit hazier than before. So anyway, as I said, lovely aroma off of it. For a double dry hopped beer, I think maybe not quite as aromatic as I was expecting when I was doing a second charge of dry hops, but you've definitely got that nice pungent Citra and Amarillo kind of citrusy orangey notes coming through. Yeah, smells good. And taste wise, it's a little bit young. I know a lot of people think that you should, you know, you can't really drink American IPAs young enough, but I'd still like to let them mellow for a little bit. And I think this one has been in the keg for, yeah, about a week and a half, so maybe needs a little bit more time. It's definitely carved up nicely, but it's just got a little bit of bite to the hop still at the moment, which yeah, I kind of like them when that's just mellowed a little bit. So maybe another couple of weeks or so, I reckon that'll be in prime drinking condition. Otherwise, brewing's kind of been a little bit slow over the last month or so for me. I think the summer months are a bit of a killer for well, especially when you have a summer like we've just had with the heat wave and stuff. The shed's been ridiculously hot most days, you know, sort of over 30 degrees for about 3 weeks running pretty much, and it's not really that pleasant environment to be brewing beer in. And on the flip side, that sort of weather is when you're absolutely going to cane through your home brew faster than you normally would. So I did get to a point where pretty much all the kegs that I had were empty, which was a pretty dire situation, but I've managed to get a few brews up and running. Just did a video yesterday on the split batch that I did, and I've also got another batch of golden ale in the fridge behind me as well. So I've got about 50 litres, just under 50 litres in total in the brew fridge, and I brewed this, so I've got pretty much a full keg of this still to go. And I've also got another lager on the kegerator back there, which I'm doing a separate video on because I used the imperial yeast again with that, so the L13 Global, and I did something a little bit different this time with it. So I brewed it at ale temperature, because I've seen on places like Brewlosophy and stuff, they've done experiments where they've used that yeast at 19-20 degrees, and it's basically performed exactly the same as when they've done it at the traditional lager temperature. So I thought I'd give that a go. I've only just had like my first sample off of it today, and that's only been in the keg for about 4 days. Fined it with gelatin, and yeah, tastes pretty clean so far, so look out for the video on that, because that will be hopefully be quite interesting. And bearing in mind that the lager, or the yeast, finished in that lager after about a week, I think that's a method for getting definitely a possible method for getting super fast turnarounds on your lagers and keeping them nice and clean. So yeah, hopefully that will turn out well. So one other thing that I wanted to mention is I'm actually creeping up on the 1,000 subs mark, which I'm really happy about. Thanks to all of you guys for subbing to the channel and tuning in to watch these videos, because obviously, you know, we wouldn't be making these videos if there wasn't anyone out there watching. And to hit 1,000 subs, although that's obviously, you know, that's small fry in the big world of YouTube and stuff, but for a fairly sort of niche hobby, with quite a small kind of community of people online engaged with it, I think, you know, that's I'm really pleased with hitting 1,000. And I will be doing a competition for it, so I haven't done a subs comp for a little while. I was kind of waiting to hit the 1,000 mark so I could do a bigger competition there. And yeah, so that's hopefully going to be happening very soon, because I'm only 8 away currently, and that competition will be going up once I've hit the 1,000 subs, as a little thank you to everyone for that. Don't know exactly what I'm doing for it yet, but I've got a few ideas. Just need to work out which one I want to do for the competition. So yeah, look out for that video and get entered when it comes up. Also, I was just looking at the stats on the channel. I've just gone over 100,000 views total as well, so there was a nice little bit of symmetry there. So nearly 1,000 subs and 100,000 views in total. Quite a few of the kind of tutorial videos that I've done and stuff have picked up loads of views over the last couple of years that I've been doing YouTube videos. So obviously, yeah, it was worthwhile doing them, because they must have helped quite a few people if that many of you have watched them. So again, thanks for everyone for watching the videos. Basically, like I said, it's the main thing that is keeps us interested in doing it and putting the videos out there, and all the comments and feedback and stuff, whether it's on YouTube or via the Brewclub groups and everything. That's all much appreciated. So yeah, cheers for that. So what else has been going on? Recently just had a new beer shop open up in Bedford. It's called Beerfly, and I popped in to see them the other day. Picked up a few nice beers. Got one from a local microbrewery, Black and Sun, which was really nice. I've been over there with the Milton Keynes home brewing group before, and the guy who owns that, Gary's top bloke, and cool little brewery. Lots of sort of Belgian styled ales, or ales that use Belgian yeasts anyway, so lots of saisons and things like that. He's big into experimental fermentations, mixed fermentation beers and stuff like that. Nice little brewery, and good to see them being stocked by one of the shops in Bedford. And I've got a couple of big hazy New England IPA style beers from Gypsy Hill and Verdant, which were both very nice. Enjoyed those, but the main reason I actually popped in there was because the owner, Tim, had actually sent me a message on Facebook. I'd never met him before, but somebody that I go to the Milton Keynes brewing group with, Phil, had popped in before and showed him some of my videos and stuff, and they were having a chat about possibly setting up a home brewing group, and he wanted me to come and have a chat about it as well. I guess he was quite keen on, you know, me helping to sort of promote it and maybe get it going. So nothing firm planned yet, but it looks like Bedford will be holding a few, it's not an official club yet, but possibly a Bedford Brewing Club being set up and some meetings being hosted at Beerfly. So thanks to Tim for being interested in setting that up. It would be really good to get that going. I'd go to a couple of other brewing groups, so the Milton Keynes one that I mentioned, also the Beds and Hearts homebrewers group down in Luton. They're both quite different in the way that they work, but both really fun to go to, and interesting to sort of see what other brewers are up to and learn from each other and stuff. The one downside of both of those is that they're both about half an hour's drive away from Bedford, which poses obvious problems when it comes to travel and people driving and other things. So having a brew club that would be in my local town would be excellent, and hopefully that will be getting going at some point over the next month or so. So look out for that. The Beerfly Facebook group will be publicising it. I'll probably put up some stuff about it as well as and when it happens. And if anyone who is sort of local to Bedford or in that area is up for it, then please come along, and we'll try and get a little group going. The shop itself is really good as well. It's got a nice selection of beers in there, about 5 or 6 beers on tap as well. He had a really nice looking selection of stuff when I went in to see him. Unfortunately, I did drive into town that day, so I didn't get to sample all his wares, but like I said, I brought a few beers back with me. Yeah, so nice little addition to the beer scene in Bedford. I think that's about it now, really. So I'm going to try not to drink this too quickly, because at 6.9% it's probably going to knock me on my arse. But cheers everyone, and I will see you soon.
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness, or Duder, or, you know, El Duderino.